When McLaren released the 720S, it was a game changer. It was a rapid, usable, somewhat outrageous supercar that ended up becoming something of a benchmark. Fast forward nearly 3 years later, and McLaren's rivals have only just now begun to catch up, which means McLaren now need to take another step forward with this, arguably their most outrageous supercar to date.
This is the £280,000 McLaren 765LT. Nope, don't adjust your browser. It really does look this mad. It's a wild blend of sharp angles, swooping curves, intricate vents, and crazy wings. Think of it as a 720S on steroids. It's lighter, lower, has better aerodynamics, and a version of McLaren's 4-litre twin-turbo V8 with, you guessed it, 765 metric horsepower. All of which means this big step forward should make even the 720S look like it's standing still.
Right, helmet on, because this is a fast car and I don't want to die. Pre-flight checks, track, active, launch, foot on the brake, foot on the gas, send it. Whoa! Oh my God, that is violent. Yes! They say this car has 765 metric horsepower, 800 Newton meters of torque, and it will do 0 to 62 in 2.8 seconds, 0 to 124 miles an hour in 7 seconds flat. And if you keep pushing, it'll do 205 miles an hour. But that's not even the impressive stat. The impressive stat is that it will do a quarter mile in under 10 seconds. It's a 9-second car. I've got to say a word about the driving position. These seats are sensational. You've got this 4-point racing harness on, and that just contributes to the feeling that you are at one with a hugely powerful machine that should be respected at all costs.
But it's not just the increase in power that's notable, it's the reduction in weight. The 765LT uses a titanium exhaust system, saving 3.8 kilograms. Thinner glass, minus 6 kilograms, the lightweight seats from the Senna, 18 kilograms, and ultra-lightweight wheels with titanium wheel bolts, saving 10 kilograms. They even make you pay for an air conditioning system, but then don't actually give it to you unless you specifically request it, because that 10 kilograms of weight might affect performance. In total, they've saved 80 kilos, giving it a dry weight of 1,229 kg, 155 kilograms lighter than even a Ferrari 488 Pista.
And the lightness is really apparent. It's so nimble, so agile. There's not a lot of cars on the planet that feel like this. It almost feels like, the best way I can describe it is almost like a Lotus Elise with the straight line acceleration of a nuclear rocket. It's so agile. Here we go, second gear corner. You throw it in almost with impunity and it just rips. And then on the exit, you can squeeze the power.
That lightness helps it feel even faster than cars with superior power. The Ferrari 812 Superfast, one of the most violent accelerating cars on the planet, has a power-to-weight ratio of 458 horsepower per ton. The original Bugatti Veyron had 530 horsepower per ton. This has a power-to-weight ratio of 571 horsepower per ton. And you can feel it not just in the acceleration, but in the way it carries itself through turns.
The steering is a real highlight. It's fantastic. McLaren do such a great job with their steering systems. I think the best in the business right now is the steering on the McLaren 600LT. But they've actually improved it for this. They've increased the speed of the steering and done some work to try and improve the feel and feedback you get from it. And it is a sensational thing. You feel so connected to the car. You know exactly what the grip levels are. And that just makes it an absolute joy to drive. You don't feel afraid of the machine, you feel connected to it.
A lot of that confidence comes from the astonishing grip and stability. Grip comes from bespoke Pirelli P0 Trofeo R tyres, which are particularly impressive in the low and medium speed turns. Stability in the high speed corners, where the car seems less nervous than the 720S, comes from improved levels of downforce.
It's Specifically, it's got 25% more downforce than the 720S. Some of that comes from that front splitter, which is now 48 millimeters longer than the old one. Some of it comes from the side blades on the doors, some comes from the floor, some from the diffuser, and a big old chunk comes from that massive rear wing. Absolutely enormous thing. And if you look in the rear view mirror, what you'll see is that it's got a notch, and that's simply there to allow you to see out the back. But that provides enormous amounts of downforce, 25% more at the rear than in the old car. It's got 3 positions, that spoiler. DRS, so it lays itself completely flat in order to give you that slipstream on the straights. Then you've got driver downforce level, which is the middle setting. And then the 3rd setting is when it acts as an air brake, so it sits up perfectly upright in less than half a second, slows the car down. As for the brakes themselves, stunning, almost untouchable. You feel so much confidence. There are 2 braking options, one with the calipers from the Senna and 765LT specific discs, and those come with a special cooling function that enables those brakes to keep 50 degrees cooler than the brakes on the 720S. But if you really want to push the boat out, then you can actually buy the discs from the Senna. That's what's fitted to this test car, and they feel absolutely magnificent. You can pound on them lap after lap after lap.
But you'd expect that because they don't come cheap. They'll set you back nearly £15,000, although a big chunk of that price is probably the electricity bill used for baking them at high temperatures for around 3 months. But high price comes with high performance. The 765LT can brake from 124 miles an hour to a standstill in 108 meters. And then there's the Gearbox, a 7-speed dual clutch unit with a new feature on this car: limit downshift.
On most cars, when you try and downshift when you've got too much engine speed on, the computer will say no, it won't give it to you, it will deny you. But on this, the computer says not now, but in a minute. It actually remembers what you're trying to do and saves that command. And then once your wheel speed and your engine speed are appropriate, that's when it will give you that downshift. And in the meantime, it will bounce off the limiter. Let's talk about the sound. McLarens are not blessed with the gift of amazing exhaust, but the back of this one just sounds incredible. It really is, that quad exhaust is just singing. It's a beautiful thing. I've stood by the side of the pits listening to others as they pass by, and it's a glorious, glorious noise. This is a car that I've anticipated for so long. I've waited for the better part of a year to have a go in one of these things, because I think this could be the finest supercar we've seen possibly ever. And I've got to say, it doesn't let me down. This is a hell of a machine. A stunning, stunning supercar that shows what McLaren is capable of when they put their minds to it. And with this, they really have put their minds to it. What a thing. What a thing. I can stay out here all day long. This kind of stuff is what dreams are made of. The 765LT, it delivers. Let's bring it into the pits, try and collect my thoughts. I've waited so long to drive this car because I think it might be the best supercar McLaren have ever made. That's what I've built it up to be in my head, and I think they've done it. I think they've done it. For me, my favorite supercar of all time in terms of driver interactivity and fun and feeling connected to the machine is the 600LT. But the little tweaks that they've made here and there, the weight they've removed, the stability, the fun factor, all of it adds up to make one hell of a machine.
McLaren have no doubt done a stellar job with the 765LT. Is it a big enough step forward from the 720S? And is it a big enough step forward to keep rivals at bay? We'll need to suffer the hardship of spending more time with the car before we can say definitively, but on this evidence, all signs most definitely point to yes.